Hey there, guys. Welcome back. And on this episode, we'll actually be doing a new segment, something a little bit less frequent. But I had mentioned before in the recap that I'm into mead, so I wanted to do another one called Texas Mead Reviews. Um, and we'll be looking at a bottle today, which actually is not a Texas mead. It was sent to me courtesy of Rob Gage and Danny Fay from Beer Advocate. Thanks a bunch, guys. And we will be looking at the Apis Meadery's Sangiovese. All right, so this is their, I guess, their Dorsata honey varietal with Sangiovese grapes, and comes in at 16% ABV per the website. And if you're not really familiar with mead, of course, it's basically fermented honey. It's honey wine, and there are some different names for when they include different fruits or spices. Depending on, of course, the percentages can vary, I guess, depending on the fruit to honey ratio. But anyway, typically when it has grapes, any kind of grapes, it's a piment is the name for it. If you've seen like melomel, it's usually with fruit. But anyway, so this meadery is out of Carnegie, Pennsylvania, and they have it listed as a semi-sweet mead. I have, of course, you can tell, I've opened the bottle. We opened it the other night. It had a tinge of carbonation. It's usually not something I enjoy as much out of meads. I like them to be still. So I kind of gave it a couple days, 2-3 days in the bottle. I think it was about 2 days ago that we opened it. See if it'll, actually lose the carbonation and maybe kind of open up a little bit more. Because, like wines, they're, have a bit of oxygen exposed to them like that, they can change. Same thing with meads. I've had some meads I've opened, drink half a bottle or a little bit, put it back, open it a few days later, and it, it kind of evolves a little bit. And sometimes not a whole lot, but, sometimes for the better, actually. Anyway, so it's been a couple days since I've tried this one out, so I actually wanted to give it a full review. And of course, it won't be straight out of the bottle. A full bottle. But as I mentioned before, when I first opened it, it did have some carbonation. So I was hoping that it would actually lose that carbonation. Anyway, let's go ahead and check it out. So what I'll probably do is revisit this bottle here over the next couple, few days. Anyway, pours out a nice, clear, vibrant red color. It does look like, it kind of reminds me of some of the Zinfandel wines that have that kind of brighter, clear red. I don't know the percentage of grapes that they use for this, but maybe it wasn't a super high concentration, so that it was a bit lighter in color, and you're still going to get the lightness of the honey there, but it's got some nice alcohol legs. 16%. It's pretty high, higher than some meads. There's some out there that are pretty high, but that's typically on the, I think, higher range of meads from what I've had. But anyway, let's check out the aroma. So definitely can pick up the honey, the sweet honey notes, and get a nice blend of those. The grape has kind of that deep, earthy red wine character to it, a little musty. I can smell a bit of the alcohol on the nose. It's not too bad. I've had meads that are boozier, but it's there. But it's decently jammy. It just has that bit of that kind of floral, earthy sort of character you get out of, maybe something like a Pinot, or not quite Cabernet, not quite as earthy, but maybe a little bit of a fruitier red wine. I don't have a whole lot of experience with wine myself, and definitely not as much in mead that I do, have with beer. But it's kind of what I'm getting from this. So let's go ahead and check out the taste. Cheers. Oh yeah, so before I get into the flavors right off the bat, yeah, the carbonation's gone. and I love it. um, Definitely getting more of the red wine character on the flavor. That's what I got the other day too. The honey's still there, definitely shows, but a lot more red wine like. It's pretty jammy. You get notes of like blackberries and of course red grapes. Maybe more of like a Concord type of grape. You can't really find these type of grapes, in grocery stores or anything. You'll just see typical table red grapes. But things like the Concord grapes have more of that, I guess, closer to that wine character. Sometimes you can, find those in certain stores when they're in season, and the season's usually not too long. But nice and jammy. It's got some nice floral kind of components to it, a bit flowery and a bit more earthy and kind of musty on the back end. Hints of, maybe some savoriness, maybe that kind of mushroom-like character that you get out of some darker red wines. But the honey actually comes in. I want to say more towards the finish. Yeah, that sweetness from the honey lingers on. It doesn't have a whole lot of acidity. There's some there, and it's definitely not too sweet. They mark it as a semi-sweet wine. It's a bit more sweet than acidic, but there is some acidity there to kind of balance out that sweetness, which makes it a lot more drinkable. The mouthfeel it's not too sticky, just a little bit. Maybe more of a medium type of mouthfeel, though. It does kind of coat the mouth, but there's just a slight thinness to it, and it's not not super sticky. It's a bit there, but it does feel a bit fuller than it did the other day. And the carbonation, the carbonation is going to make it feel a little bit more effervescent, a bit more. It's kind of thin it out a bit, and it feels a bit more flabby, I guess, in this sense. Not too much, but just a bit more at that loss of carbonation. But I prefer that. I like still meads a lot more than carbonated meads. I just feel like I don't know. It kind of has this sort of like soda-like quality to it when I have carbonated meads, and I just don't really enjoy that. So this is much nicer. The booze is there, but it's not too bad. 16%. It could be worse. Definitely not as boozy as the 17% mead that I had the other day. But for the 16%, it's fine. It's not boozy, like too boozy at all, really. But overall, I enjoy this mead quite a bit. I'd give it a 4 out of 5 stars. I like the red wine influence because I do enjoy red wine. Not a whole lot, but I think to improve it a bit, I'd like to see probably even more of a grape character, more acidity, and just a bit more of a kind of a stickier, fuller mouthfeel with that lack of carbonation off the bat. I think make it fantastic. More of the kind of meads that I'm into, I guess. But 4 out of 5 stars is pretty great. So it's not available around here, but if you live in Pennsylvania and you're into meads, check this one out. And if you are into meads around here, I'd recommend Texas Mead Works. If you're in pretty much any of the specs around the area, they have their blackberry mead on the shelves, and it's delicious. I'd pick that up. And I really, really like Dancing Bee, which I haven't seen them in stores, but you can order all their stuff online. And actually, that is true that you can. I'm not sure. I haven't ordered mead across state lines, so I don't know as much of that. But you can order Texas meads, definitely. As far as other meads in different states, I'm not too sure, so don't quote me on it. But they do have it where you can shop online, so maybe actually you'll order these, and I think you can. There is a website up in Michigan, or I think you can do that. Pretty sure. So yeah, but Apis Meadery, check out their meads online, and they've got some good sounding meads and stuff. So there is that. So anyway, that'd be it for the first full mead segment. So I've got some more bottles, from some Texas meaderies and stuff that'll be cracking over time to time. I don't buy them a whole lot. I don't drink a whole lot of mead, but I do enjoy it. So anyway, all that said, as always, think local, think global, drink local, and cheers.